Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Petovich here, monitoring the severe weather threat overnight. Good news, nothing to worry about, at least right now. It's going to be late tonight and early tomorrow morning, so if you want to get some sleep now and maybe worry about this later tonight, that would be my suggestion, because really nothing's going to happen between now and about 3 a.m. And I'll tell you why. We're starting to look at this, looking at the storms back to the west. The thing to note is the storms over in Tennessee aren't really the storms we're watching right now. So while these storms are interesting, they're moving up in this direction. The storms we're watching, and I talked about this earlier today, are down here. That's where the new tornado watch is. That's where our storms are coming from. That tornado watch down there is up until 2 o'clock in the morning. So the storms we need to watch are down in that area there. And just to show you where those watches are, I'll show you where they extend from Ohio, Pennsylvania, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. And again, these watches down there until 2 o'clock in the morning. So you know it's probably going to be here at 2 o'clock. And so we're probably looking at 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning before anything down here gets up here. And so, yeah, I would maybe set an alarm, get some sleep, go to bed, maybe get some rest out there tonight. But let's look at some of the tornado parameters for the possible impacts of rotation tonight. Latest guidance just coming in. I'll go to 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Actually trended down a little bit. So this is actually really good news. 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. So you can see kind of like 0.3, 0.4. And, you know, just so you know, this is basically the probability of tornadoes. The higher the number, the higher the ingredients are in place. Really don't get too worried until you get 1 or above, and 2, 3 is where you really start worrying. So this isn't too bad. So the area we were probably most concerned about is down in here, and that's been kind of the area I've been talking about all day. I think if we're going to see a storm rotate or produce a tornado, it's probably going to be right near the South Carolina, North Carolina border, south and east of 85. And then going into eastern North Carolina tomorrow, I actually think this is going to be the area that will probably see a bigger impact. So just a heads up, later in the afternoon, it's going to be central and eastern North Carolina. So let's look at the latest run of the Futurecast. This will kind of show you the timing. I'm going to stop this all the way at 2 a.m. So this is 2 o'clock in the morning. My head is in the way, but you can see I'll kind of move my head right over here so you can see what's coming in from the west. Again, looks like just some light rain. The main storms are still over here and then down here. These are the ones we're watching. You know, I had someone ask me a really good question today. You know, Brad, do the mountains stop storms? I've heard that's true. I've also heard it's a myth. It's not true all the time. There are certain cases where the mountains can help deter storms, but more often than not, they help enhance storms. And the thing I always tell people is, remember, our flow of thunderstorm fuel comes from the south. It doesn't come from the northwest. So even if the storms were the weekend, they would move down here and tap into this warm, humid air. You would need mountains down here to block the inflow, and that's not happening. And most of our severe storms actually come up from the southwest. That's the track of most of our tornadoes and our supercells. So the mountains actually have less of an impact than you might think in this setup. And this is a good example. Look where they're coming from. They're not coming from over the mountains, right? They're coming up from the southwest. And so this is the line of storms coming in 3, 4, 5 in the morning. Stop this at 5 o'clock. These are the storms down here to watch. I really think up here, at least the first wave is probably nothing to worry about. It's that little batch down there. And there's the timing, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Go to 7, 8, 9. I said the first batch because the main cold front is going to arrive right there. So there's a cold front right here. So there might be in this area, if we're going to see a strong storm, it might actually be during the day tomorrow with the cold front, especially if the sun should come out briefly here just ahead of that line. I'll show you that little line. It doesn't look like much, but you kind of get the idea. There might be a couple, you know, I would say hailers, maybe even a brief rotation in one of those. But the main batch is right there, honestly, right there, early tomorrow morning. So looking at the timing, this is the timing hasn't changed a whole lot. It's been fairly consistent, to be honest with you. You start looking at this time frame here, and it's really that 4 to 9 a.m. kind of time frame. And tornado risk, pretty low overall, but not zero. It's straight line winds. I mean, the winds are going to be legit with this overnight. So, you know, my word to you is always download our app if you can. It's going to help you tremendously tonight. If you can grab our app, get those push notifications on. Also, excuse me, if I should be streaming or Chris and I are streaming, I'm going to be here till 2, 3 o'clock, depending on what it looks like. we would stream on there, and you could just pull your phone out and watch us right there. That would be the best bet. So again, it may be a little better view of the timing, just to kind of put it all in one graphic here for you. This might help you out a little better as far as timing is concerned. So you get the idea. Roughly between 1 and 3 for the mountains, 3 to 7 for the Piedmont in the middle area, 7 to 10 for the Sandhills, central North Carolina, then pushing off to the east. Another thing I want to show you is the rotational tracks, because there's some signs, at least a tornado threat is going to remain pretty low overnight. Now I want to show you the severe weather threat overall. We're still stuck at the medium range, and again, remember, this is through 8 a.m. After 8 a.m., then the new update comes out, and it picks up right where it left off and goes off to the east. So essentially, if you look at this, our whole area is essentially under a medium risk tonight until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and then 8 a.m. to tomorrow night. So the risk doesn't change all that much. But I wanted to show you the rotational tracks, because this is a sign of what storms look like they could be rotating. Doesn't necessarily mean tornadoes, but it means rotating updrafts, which are kind of the precursor to severe thunderstorms for sure, and occasionally tornadoes, obviously. So you got to have rotating updraft. So we go in the wee hours of the morning. You can see 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Not a ton of rotation, but the ones that have a little bit of rotation are down here next to my head. And again, they're pretty low. There's not a lot of rotation in here. We're not seeing a lot of reds where I would be more concerned. So this is weak rotation, but there is that one cell kind of through Lancaster, Chesterfield, Rockingham, Richmond County area. And then you notice that second wave I was talking about around the middle of the day up in there. But again, those aren't crazy tracks. That's not something that screams tornado outbreak or tons. Just tells me there's still a chance of an isolated tornado during the overnight hours. Now remember, if we do get put under a watch, what a watch and warning are, because we get a lot of confusion on this. So I built this graphic to kind of explain a watch, whether it's a severe thunderstorm watch, tornado watch, flood watch, means the ingredients are there for that thing to happen. It's kind of like our cupcake watch. We've got all the ingredients on the table, and for the next usually several hours, the watch is up for hours, not minutes. Could be for 4, 5, 6 hours. The ingredients are there for a tornado, a severe thunderstorm, flash flood, whatever the watch is, winter weather, winter storm watch. When we get a warning, that means the ingredients have come together, and we either have a tornado spotted, we have rotation on radar, or we're detecting damage on the radar as well. So it could be a spotted or radar detected tornado. Sometimes those are false alarms because there's just rotation and we can't tell it's all the way down surface, but sometimes even on radar, you can see debris. So a cupcake warning or a tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warnings, means it's imminent, it's happening now. Those are issued for minutes, like 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes max, and that means you need to seek shelter now or take some protective action. So just remember that tonight if we do get put under a watch or a warning. And with that being said, make sure you have at least 3 ways to get these watches and warnings. It's really important that you not just rely on one, because one could fail. Even cell phones. I mean, remember, if you're an AT&T customer, we lost service for a while, your Wi-Fi goes down. Have backups to backups. I always say 3. So wireless emergency alerts are built into your phone. It's not an app, it's just built into your phone. You got to make sure it's turned on. It's through your cell phone carriers. It's free. It's really loud. Have those turned on. Our app is a great app. But honestly, any weather app that's geolocated for your house. Watching us on TV or our streams as well. Social media, follow me, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. No weather radio, and then text from family and friends that aren't aware. So if you know you have a friend or family member that doesn't pay attention, or maybe has their alerts turned off or their phone muted or whatever, call them. They might see your number pop up in their caller ID and go, hey, who's calling me at 3 o'clock in the morning? And you could say, hey, do you know there's a tornado warning for your location? So seek shelter right now. So please do that if you ever see that. So again, our main threat overnight is going to be damaging winds. Even into tomorrow, we're going to see the risk for some damaging winds. Tornado risk is not 0, it's not high, and it's kind of on the low end range. So I would say it's kind of, like 1-2% probability right now if I had to put a number on it. And I'm actually glad some of the new data is trending a little bit down in this scenario. I wanted to quickly show you the wind speeds, because outside of even the tornadoes, we're going to see a ton of wind tomorrow. I thought I had my wind graphic pulled up here, but hopefully I have it pulled up. I guess I don't. I'll grab it real quick. But it's going to be super windy even outside of the the thunderstorms tomorrow. So let me show you futurecast winds. So these are the winds out of the southwest tonight. Here comes the storms. Notice how they kind of go up. You see a couple gusts over 30 or 40. And then watch as the front moves through tomorrow. Right there. Really strong winds along the front. And then the front moves through, and notice how gusty the winds are. So it's going to be really windy tomorrow, even if you don't see a thunderstorm. And even into Thursday, it's going to be pretty breezy. So, you know, just a heads up. You may not see a severe storm overnight or even, you know, tomorrow, but I definitely think everybody's going to see some wind. So if it's trash day for you, you're definitely going to want to make sure the trash can's put away or the lawn furniture secured. I lost the flag today, got ripped out of the flagpole, so maybe take those down. But that's kind of what we're expecting tonight. Stay weather aware. Please do that overnight into the morning hours. I'm going to stay on this. Chris is going to be on this. Larry, we'll have you covered here at the WCNC Weather Team. If anything should happen, Brittany will be here tomorrow evening as well. All of us are going to be watching this over the next 24 hours. Stay safe, and remember, stay weather aware.